Right then, party actions are actions you take that are convention actions to do with running and forming political parties. At the start of the game, hardly anybody is in a political party, which means that hardly anyone is in a team, but you can form teams during the course of the game by taking this form of party action. It says here, to form a party needs a leader, a deputy leader and a plan, and it talks about what the plan is a bit. You need a leader and a deputy leader, because and there's at least 2 people to form a party, and they are the party's candidates for president and vice president in some potential future election. So that they're kind of promises of those roles if the party gets to stand in an election. It also needs a plan, which is the Mexican or the Spanish for a manifesto, effectively. Historically, these were all named after the town where they were formed, or in some cases the towns where they were supposed to have been written when the people writing them were actually in America, where it's illegal to plot the overthrow of foreign government, so it's illegal to write plans there. But anyway, they're named after a town traditionally, so well, you can do that if you like. There will be pro formas like this, which is filled in pro forma, for the plans in the game, so it'll make it obvious what you have to put in them. As well as the leader and the deputy leader, it says you need a position for or against at least 2 of the policies which are the defining issues of the revolution. There's a bunch of briefing material about it, going into quite a lot of detail, and I'm going to provide a summary of that on the day as a play sheet, just so that you can quickly establish the right way to fluff your positions if you want to do that, rather than just saying for X and against Y. So this is the pro forma. This is the Plan of Ayala, which was announced by Emiliano Zapata, just before the start of the game when he went into revolt against Madero. So it's called the Plan of Ayala, which is the manifesto of the Zapatistas. Parties often didn't have formal names, and they were named after their leader. So this party was called the Zapatista Party because they are the followers of Zapata. Although it wasn't really a formal historical name, but we have to make do. The leader of the party is Emiliano Zapata, and the deputy leader is Genoveva de la O. And the parties are here, the policies rather are here, for land reform and for democracy. They don't have an opinion on the other policies, although they could do if they wanted to, and they must have at least 2 opinions, or the plan isn't a valid plan. There is a slight exception to this, in that the other party in existence at the start of the game is the Constitutionalist Party, founded by the first chief of the revolution, as he appointed himself, Venustiano Carranza, and this plan is very anti-Huerta, the dictator who's just had his coup, but isn't really for anything in particular. It just says that we'll restore the country and we're against Huerta. So that's a special case of Carranza trading on his political reputation as senior statesman of the time, unlike the 2 peasants we have here who are not really trading on anything apart from the goodwill of the people of Morelos. Anyway, so that's what you need to do to form a party. You need to create one of these, and often it'll be signed by the founders. There's a bit at the bottom for further stuff where you can add revolutionary rhetoric or explain what you'll do to prisoners or not do to prisoners and so on. It's just to add flavour to the plan, but the core of the plan is this chunk here, the 2 leaders and the position on the various policies. There's space here to endorse the policies, which is an action I'll come on to later, which increases the value of those policies and encourages you to have more. When you found a party, apart from the first 2, of course, because they've already founded, you get to choose a symbol to represent your party's garrisons. Here are a few of them. They each have a symbol on them, so that you can name your party whatever you like, and we'll stick a sticker on the plan to show you which one you've chosen, so that everyone will know what your party is when they see the counters. These garrisons are very much like the player garrisons, except they've got the square border, just so that it's clear that they're a party garrison rather than a player one, although I think the symbol might give it away as well. So and the two-tone, which is quite cute, I think. Anyway, we have the eagle and the cactus from the Mexican flag, and the cockroach, and not ladybird at all, from the name of the game, the cucaracha. Right, so that's how you find a party. It won't happen a lot during the game, but it's kind of important to know how it works and what's involved. The next party actions listed here are to change a party in various ways. Once you've formed a party, it's effectively a dictatorship, and the party leader has an ultimate say in how everything, any decisions that the party needs to make. Whether the members of the party actually follow his determinations is up to them, but he is in charge absolutely. If the party is for democracy, you can have an election to remove the leader. Otherwise, the leader's the leader indefinitely, and you have to actually use your other methods within the game to get rid of them. So there you go. So these are the ways you can change a party. You can change the leader, which again has to be an election if it's democratic and quorate, which I've said is more than half the members. This might be slightly hard to track in the game, but we'll have to try and judge it and try and be patient with it, because it's hard to formalise something which is potentially so flexible, so variable rather than flexible. Change the leader, change the policies in the plan, so you can add or remove positions on the various policies. You do have to keep at least 2 active positions rather than you can't just remove them all. And you can add more. You can expel a member who does not need to be present. So that's if somebody isn't really following the party agenda, you can get rid of them. And it says for any of these changes, one of the people involved in the changes must be the party leader. So while his word is law, to actually formally change the party, he has to have another person involved who's a party, but not that kind of party. There's another action you can take to change the party. The last one here, you can add a member, which requires any 2 other members to let them in. And it has to be a convention action, so the 3 of you have to have a convention to add another member to a party. That sort of reflects the historical position of how things changed a bit. Right. The next party action here is endorsing a party policy. And any 2 members of a party may endorse one of the policies of the party. So a policy is either endorsed or not endorsed, and it just takes any 2 members to endorse it, but they can only endorse 1 policy each. So if you have all 6 policies, it requires at least 12 people in the party to endorse them all. The benefit of endorsing them is that it increases your national support, which is a concept we haven't come across yet. And it's really only relevant if there's an election, and it reflects support for the party that isn't reflected in your military support, your actual personal support. So that would increase the number of votes you get overall as a party, but it doesn't actually improve your military standing in any ways. The party is better off for having the policies endorsed. And this obviously encourages you to have more policies, but that's harder to get people to agree on, so there's a trade-off there. Okay, those are the things you can do to a party. I've realised I'll need to have a talk about actually running the party and some of the mechanics of that, so I'll do that next, and then I will go back to government jobs, which aren't terribly exciting really. Okay.